There's been a lot of chatter about protein and how India remains protein deficient. But we're also looking at a huge FMCG market that actually plugging the gap of protein. So there's protein in your atta, there is protein in your coffee, there's protein in your kulfi, there's protein in everything now. And to know more about this, we have today with us Dr. Vishakha Shivdasani, popularly known as Dr. V on Instagram. And of course, she's been tasked with herself to have improved the lives and health of many people with fatty liver, with PCOS, with PCOD, basically all the non-communicable diseases that we are currently faced with in this generation of people. Thank you, Vishakha, for being a part of us at India Today. And we're talking about protein powder. So, of course, my first question is, the market has really exploded. And how do you see this explosion? Because it kind of feels that now we're being oversold the protein idea.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, Millie. I think, first of all, let's understand as a country, we are protein deficient. And we need to start with that understanding. So we are a very, very carb-heavy, carb-rich country. Everything in our diet, any diet across the country, north, south, east, west, is all very, very carb-driven, which is why we're also the diabetic capital of the world. So there is reason for this protein influx. And this protein influx has been post-COVID, because we saw during COVID how immunity was really low. We weren't recovering from infection particularly fast, and we need protein for that. That being said, like everything you said has protein added in it, do we need our kulfis and chocolates and coffees and all to be protein infused? I think not. I think that is a bit much and a bit far-fetched. You can, get adequate protein in your diet, whether you're vegetarian or whether you're non-vegetarian. It's also a myth that vegetarians don't get ample protein or can't get it. And there is nothing wrong really with supplementing with protein powders, be it a whey protein powder or plant-based, based on what you can tolerate and take. Nothing wrong with taking it, but I think it should end there, because the other stuff actually has either way too much wrong kind of fat, hydrogenated fat, rancid fat, or it's too full of sugar. So it defeats the purpose completely. There might be exceptions, in few brands, but more often than not, this is what we see, and this is what I tell all my patients at the clinic. Stick to your real food, and you can top up with a protein shake.
So then, what are the right kinds of proteins one should be taking? Because as I said earlier, the market is exploding with protein powders. And recently there were instances of big dairy brands as well that are looking at a particular brand of curd that's coming in with a 15-gram more protein in this particular curd and 30-gram more in this particular curd. So what is the right kind of protein that one should take, and how should one stay away from yet again, the kulfi with the protein and the wafer of chocolate with the protein?
Okay, for that, let's understand first that what we need to have is a complete protein. Any protein that's a complete protein is the one that's good for you. What is a complete protein? Let's first understand that, right? We have 20 amino acids. Think of it like beads on a string. These 20, if you have 20 amino acids, that makes a complete, what we call bioavailable protein, which your body can utilize completely.
Right.
Now, if whatever protein that you take, especially vegetarian sources of protein, they don't have all 20 put together. Okay. So non-vegetarian protein has all amino acids in them. So that string is complete. So it's a bioavailable complete protein. So that is a good quality protein. Eggs are a good quality protein. Vegetarians have incomplete protein. So they're not very bioavailable. So it's not what you eat, it's what you assimilate that really matters. That being said, does it mean that vegetarians don't get ample protein or can't get complete protein? That's wrong. You just need to combine the protein well. For instance, historically, how do we eat food? We eat grain and we eat legume. And if you combine these two, it makes it a complete protein, because the two amino acids which are not there in one and not there in the grain are there in the legumes. For instance,
Mm.
if you do like dal chawal or rajma
Mm.
chawal, or if you do South Indian foods like idli dosa, rice and
Yeah.
dal,
Yeah.
that's a complete protein. It's what we call a complete marriage of proteins. So you
Mm.
also absorb it well, right? So those are good quality proteins. The problem is, like at the clinic also, I very often see people who are dieting, trying to drop weight, who are so scared of, things like rice. And they say,
Mm.
no, no, we are having roti with dal. That is an incomplete protein. So you might technically be meeting your protein requirements in a day by having 3 bowls of dal or 2 bowls of rajma, but you're having it with chapati. That is incomplete protein. Your body is not absorbing it well. So then the protein is not doing its job. It's not helping you with your immunity. It's not helping you with your muscle mass. It's not helping you with your hair. It's giving you brittle nails. All of that's happening. So if you combine the protein correctly, whether you're vegetarian or whether you're non-vegetarian, you are going to meet your protein targets. Then over and above that, if you're someone who's a gym enthusiast, wants to build muscle, or if you're a convalescent patient, like I give it to a lot to my cancer patients also, who can't eat anything, who don't have appetites.
Right.
If you don't have to be like a national level athlete to take that extra protein shake. Then over
Mm-hmm.
and above, lot of people have bloating issues, can't take so much protein in the diet. But if your basic protein is coming through this and you're combining it correctly, that's your good quality protein.
You're saying dal and roti is not even complete protein.
Correct. It's not complete protein, but dal and rice, ironically, is a complete protein.
And a lot of people don't know that.
Most people don't know that, but because they're scared, not because of anything else. So even if you're having roti, if you're not having wheat roti, if you're doing a millet, that the quality of protein gets a little better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But your
Wow.
regular wheat protein, which is what we always have, right? We do dal chawal sabzi, or we do roti sabzi and dal.
Mm.
But that is not a complete protein. So as long as you know how to combine your proteins well, when you're taking it, how much you're taking in each go, you will easily meet your requirements.
And you know how much is too much, because a lot of people are looking at add protein to your breakfast, to your protein to your lunch, protein to your dinner, and that also keeps you full in the night. It doesn't really push up your cortisol levels too much. It doesn't really leave you going for the sugary things. But ultimately, there's been a lot of advertisement chatter as well. Even if you open your social media, your phone, your TV, anywhere, everybody's like, have protein. So there's a big film star who's promoting a particular protein brand right now, and he's saying it's purest of the isolates and this and that. So in the recent times, at least, it's not just pure protein isolate powders which we used to see athletes take or weightlifters, but now, as I said, atta protein and your kulfi protein and your dahi protein. So how do you like separate this from the misinformation?
I think protein, first of all, intake has to be taken based on someone's body weight, someone's activity level, someone's kidney function. So when you say how much is too much protein, it's always in context. Okay. It's not what Millie takes is the same as what Dr. Vishakha takes is what the same as my neighbor takes is not that, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we have to contextualize things and then say this person can take so much protein. Like I said to begin with, we are a protein deficient country.
Yes.
The problem is not protein excess, it's protein deficiency. If you are somebody who has existing kidney disease, you must reduce your protein intake. If you're someone
Yes.
who has had a kidney surgery, you must decrease it. If
Hmm.
you, for whatever reason, are someone who is dehydrated and can't drink enough water,
Right.
you should decrease your protein intake. So there are certain caveats, but in certain groups of people who we say that your protein intake must be less. For the rest of us, as long as you're having clean proteins and choosing a protein, whether it's the atta, whether it's the ice cream, or whether it's a chocolate, or whether it's the coffee, as long as it's a protein without additives, wrong kind of additives, or sugars that are masked to
Hmm.
prevent the bad taste of the protein, then you're okay. But the problem is the
Absolutely.
market. there is so much of influx, and people don't really know how to read labels. And
Mm.
there is so much of influx of this refined, in the name, in the garb of refined food, in the name of protein, that's everything is just a storm, but it's all the refined carb storm or bad rancid fat storm. And that actually, in the name of protein, does you much more harm than good. And I have a problem with that.
Absolutely. That is the particular problem that we are also looking at, because one, that protein isolate itself is slightly more expensive than normal sources of protein. And having said that, adding them to fast moving consumer goods, especially, and bringing the prices down a little bit actually makes this affordable as well for people. And a certain section of the population is currently taking proteins, and the recent brands are way more expensive when you look at the price points for a kg or more than a kg. So affordability is another. When you say that India is protein deficient, of course I am having my roti and my dal and my paneer, etc. But how how is this being looked at when it's being made more affordable for people now? Because protein and taking protein powders is being made way more accessible to those who were never perhaps thinking about even having protein.
So, a lot of marketing around this, a lot of gimmicks around this, a lot of, like you said, celebrity endorsements and those kind of things. And the common man gets weird because then you think, gets steered towards it because then you think, okay, this celebrity is telling me it must be right, it must be correct. Just be informed. As I tell all my patients, I try to, do that on Instagram also by telling people, learn how to read stuff, learn how to look and understand that things that have fillers, that have, all the alls, whether you're using maltitol, you're using sorbitol, you're using xylitols, all of that will give you a terrible bloat. And then patients come with gut issues. So you're meeting your
Mm.
protein requirement, but you're so uncomfortable through the day. Defeats the purpose. Protein bars and especially desserts that have got artificial sweeteners, right? But they're
Yeah.
not safer ones. It's okay to have organic stevia. It's okay to have monk fruit. But when you use other form of like, maltodextrin and you're using all the other fructose syrups, which are going to cause then insulin resistance and diabetes because
Mhm.
people eat this all the time, that is a problem. So you should stay away from that. And honestly, these are the ones that are more expensive than just having one protein shake. So I would say don't
Yeah.
compromise on the quality of the protein shake that you're taking. Even within the protein shake, look, is it clean? Does it have any heavy metals in it? Especially the ones that are chocolate flavored could have, a high quantity of heavy metals like lead in
Mm.
it. Is it batch tested? So be informed, know how to read, know how is it third party tested. Look at all that and choose one good quality protein powder if you need, even if it is a little more expensive, and remove all the rest of, this garbage that we're speaking about because you don't need that. Then once in a while, if you have to eat a real ice cream and if you have to eat the real food with the sugar, it doesn't matter. It's much better to have real sugar occasionally rather than think I'm having healthy food that's with high protein, but it's just hidden with all this junk. That is going to cause your triglycerides to go high. That is going to cause your insulin levels to go high. That's going to give you obesity. That's going to give you chronic inflammation for sure. So be
or
careful.
or rather just speak with your doctor and just get a consult. What protein should one be eating?
That goes
Because
without saying, but I don't think
if
I'm going to
yeah.
sell myself here. So, or my tribe. But honestly, even if you're just smart as a consumer and if you just learn to do this, then if you have any queries, go to your doctor, go to your healthcare
Mhm.
provider and say,
Mhm.
I have these medical conditions. I have diabetes. Can I have this? Or I have fatty liver. Can I have this? Is this going to interact with me adversely? What kind of protein should I take? And the protein bars, I have so many patients who come to me saying, but we travel a lot. We can't have meals on time. So we're taking
Mhm.
protein bars as fillers. You read the fillers and you read the ingredients. And I explained to them, I said, just look at this. Just see what it has. Do you even recognize the last five ingredients? Do you understand what this is doing to you? And they're like so shocked. They're like, I'm like, just stop anywhere. Stop at a dhaba, stop at a South Indian place, eat real food. So my thing in life has always been my in practice. Eat real food, supplement correctly based on your blood work, even if it means taking amino acids or protein as a supplement. Add a protein powder, whether it is whey or whether it is plant protein, based on what you can tolerate, if you're lactose intolerant or not, and you don't need anything over and above.
Mm. So then, this whole gamut of proteins that have come in the market, of course, we need to look at them cautiously. And let's take this protein with a pinch of salt. Is something that is right to say, doctor?
Well, please have protein, have adequate protein. Make sure you're reaching your target, okay? If you're, whether it is 1 gram per kilogram body weight or 1.2, whatever it may be. But like I said, everything in context. Speak to your doctor, like Millie said, and get the protein requirement in context, and then decide, where is this protein going to come from? Is it going to come from my food? Do I need something to add? What do I need to add? Is just 1 scoop of protein powder enough, which is enough for most people, even if you're vegan, forget vegetarian. And if I'm having a protein bar, if I'm having anything with additives in it, can you help me look for a clean one? And that is important, right? There are clean brands also in the market. So you just have to make sure, because out of every 10 brands, I would say 8 are not clean and 2 are clean. So you have to be very, very careful about that. I had a swimmer patient recently, she's a national level swimmer who's 12 or 13. And we batch tested her protein powder because she needs that. She swims 6-7 hours a day. And
Yeah.
lo and behold, it was high in lead, and I think cadmium also.
Yeah.
So one has to be very, very careful about what you're doing. And then if you're taking something so regularly, I would say spend a little money, and every few months, either test it. It doesn't cost too much. It costs a couple of thousands. Or keep rotating it. That's what I tell my patients. If you can't, because we don't know, things are batch tested. If you're choosing a protein powder, if you're choosing a protein bar, just change it every couple of months. So you know
Wow.
that you're just safe. It's better safe than sorry. It's the first rule of medicine. Do no harm.
That's a good word of caution, because batch testing, if you're that conscious about taking your protein powders, and of course, finding out whether ingredients in them are harmful,
Yeah.
is actually a great way to kind of start trusting brands, because we know what kind of mixing and adulteration is currently happening in all sorts of products. It's not just protein, it's in everything. It's even in the atta and whatever we eat. So I think that's a fantastic, word of caution. Thank you so much, Dr. V, for joining us. And certainly we hope that this overselling of protein is not really going to become a huge fad. People will still need to have their protein. And of course, the natural sources and the non-vegetarian sources are the best, as doctors would suggest. But let's not get swayed away in the protein market conundrum that we are looking at right now. Thank you so much, Dr. V, for joining us.
My pleasure. Take care. Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.